Daredevil is a character that everyone wants in Marvel Rivals, so comment down below which character you want in the game and hit the subscribe button for more. So let's dive into his concept for what I think he would be in Marvel Rivals. It's been inspired by some people that I've seen on Twitter, so I think out of a duelist, vanguard or support, it's an interesting one. You have the argument for duelist or support, I would say, but I feel like more one than the other, which would be for me as a duelist. And I think as a duelist, Daredevil just works perfectly. Like, it suits his character the most, and I feel like he doesn't really fit the other categories. He doesn't fit the vanguard category. You know, he doesn't really have. He wouldn't be like a protector, like in a shield type way. And for support, I feel like he's just better to attack. So moving on to why I think Daredevil will be in Marvel Rivals, and we've had teasers for different characters in the game, a lot of them who haven't came yet, but here's one right here that is a teaser for Daredevil. It's Nelson and Murdoch, attorneys at law, because Daredevil is Matt Murdock, and this is his law company that he has with Foggy Nelson. So yeah, hopefully we'll get him soon. So moving on to his left click, so this is his main primary attack. So Daredevil attacks his opponents with his billy clubs. Upon a 3-hit combo, he then has a final jumping kick ability, which conducts 60 extra damage. This 3-hit combo changes and can be a spinning kick at the end of it. It can be a jumping knee kick into the opponent, or he throws the billy clubs at the opponent. So for this left click, like, it's him doing different types of 3-hit combos with his billy clubs, like moving around, using his martial arts, his skills. But at the end of the 3-hit combo, so you don't necessarily have to hit the opponent, just like, you know, if you're just clicking that button or pressing it if you're on console, you then do that different combo. So you have the spinning kick, because Daredevil is quite acrobatic, a jumping knee kick, so like you're jumping in and kneeing the person, or you know, if you're a little bit of a range, you'll throw the billy clubs at the opponent. And for either one of these, it doesn't change the damage that you do. With the 60 extra damage, it all stays the same. So moving on to his right click, Daredevil can use his billy clubs to get around the map much quicker. Aim at the area you want to get to, and you can zip line to that area, and you can swing off the buildings with the billy clubs to like gain momentum and get further. So I was thinking the way that like Punisher's right click works in the game, if you've seen that, not his right click, sorry, his I believe it's his shift that conducts his zip line that helps him like get across. I was thinking it would be like a similar thing with Daredevil, but I guess it's more of like a closer range. I guess it's like a mix between Punisher and like Spider-Man swinging his webs, because you can like swing off the buildings with the billy clubs. You obviously just can't get to like the same height, the same range. So yeah, I think this is definitely a good movement ability for Daredevil. Let me know if you'd change his right click. So for his passive ability, I put Daredevil is able to see the outline of enemy opponents, and this is within a 20-meter radius. So it's got a decent range, but it's not too far. And I put this works similar to Punisher's passive. So Punisher's passive ability, you know, if you see an enemy and then they go around the corner, you see them there, like their outline, them moving still for a few seconds, which helps you, like, you know when they're going to come back and things like that. However, it is based on the enemy moving around, causing sound waves which turn into the outlines. And I thought, because Daredevil being blind, his other senses, like his hearing, his sense of smell, and touch, they're all heightened to like an extreme level. That's what makes him, have like his superhero abilities. And I thought, if enemies like not moving around and stood still, then Daredevil can't see the outline of them. But if they're moving around and like they're running around or whatever, then Daredevil can actually see them. So moving on to his shift ability. So for this, I've put that he has an increased sprint and jumping speed, and I feel like this will be a good shift ability. So Daredevil uses his acrobatics to make him a harder target to aim at. This shift ability allows him to run up the walls. So the shift ability is kind of like you press it down, you don't have to hold it, it'll just last a few seconds. Probably like between 5 to 7, I would say, or maybe 4 to 6. So he will run quicker, and has like a bigger jumping range and ability, and we'll move on to his jumping range with the spacebar shortly. But he can, while you're in the shift, if you run at a wall that's able to like be climbed up, then you'll run up that wall and like climb up at the end. So I feel like this is a pretty, again, a good movement type ability for Daredevil, which is what we're kind of aiming at for him to be like a duelist and like an agile type character. So let me know what you think like Daredevil needs. Like, what ability would you like Daredevil to have? Or like, what do you think he needs as a character if he's going to be in Marvel Rivals to make him like competitive? Comment down below what you think, and yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So moving on to the spacebar. So when Daredevil is stood still, and if the spacebar is double clicked, then he'll just perform like a double jump, like just when he's like moving around, just to, I guess, possibly get out the way a little bit. However, when shift is activated, so during those like 4 to 7 seconds, Daredevil can perform a longer jump. And if the double jump is activated, then he will perform an acrobatic flip in the air, which makes him invincible during it. So when I say perform like a double jump, he'll perform a longer jump. I just mean like the range. So if he's running and jumps, then obviously his momentum and things will take him further. But the acrobatic flip, which makes him invincible, I was kind of thinking like he does like a couple of flips in the air, and it's similar to like Star-Lord's ability, which makes him invincible to taking any damage during it. I feel like that's a pretty cool one for him, and it just adds a little bit of like an extra layer to his abilities. So moving on to his team-up ability, and this is a team-up ability with Punisher and Spider-Man. So during this team-up, Punisher and Spider-Man are able to use Daredevil's passive ability as a cooldown ability for them. So like I said, his passive ability, he's able to see the outline of opponents that are moving around. So for Daredevil and Punisher, for Spider-Man and Punisher, this will be like a button on their screen, like the C button or X, and if they press it, then they'll also get the same the same like passive ability that Daredevil has as an outline. However, obviously, for Daredevil, his is a passive ability that will work like the whole time during the game. But for Spider-Man and Punisher, this will be an ability that only lasts like a certain amount of time. I've not really thought of like the time range that this will last, because some team-up abilities, I guess, last longer than the other. It could last 10 seconds and have like a 30-second cooldown. I'm not too sure. If you have any thoughts on the team-up ability, if you thought of anything different for a team-up ability, like if you thought you just wanted with Punisher or just with Spider-Man or with someone else, I felt like it was fitting for these two because of their interactions in the comics. And it just seemed like a more likely team-up ability if he was ever going to come to the game. But yeah, let me know what you think down below about this team-up ability. So moving on to his E ability. So Daredevil can see the surrounding areas for a more in-depth sonar ability, which reveals enemies in full for 2 seconds in a 30-meter radius. So I'll explain that a bit more. So we have his passive ability, which is, he's getting outlines of characters from their moving. But if you use your E ability, you can actually see, you just see straight away in a 30-meter radius any enemies in full, like fully highlighted red, but only for 2 seconds. But you also see enemy items, objects that they've put down, such as like Penny Parker's little mines, any health packs, and if there's Doctor Strange portal like somewhere behind you and you can't see it, then you can use this. And it only lasts for 2 seconds because I feel like it's it can be quite powerful. So moving on to his ultimate ability, and this is called Red. So upon activating the ultimate, everything becomes grayscale for Daredevil. So the game you're watching, obviously, it's in full color. But imagine it becoming like just gray, like not black and white, gray. As if he lost his sight, like, he can't see, which is Daredevil is blind. And the opponents and their abilities, ultimates, whatever they're using, are fully highlighted as red, similar to his E ability, but now it's fully highlighted as red and lasts a lot longer. He has increasing like hearing ability, but that's just zoned in on like it's not just on the map. You can hear the enemies a lot louder, so if they're running around, so you can lock in, or if they're just in front of you, you can hear them where they're coming from. Movement speed and damage is increased by 30%, so he's moving a lot quicker, he's giving a lot more damage, and now the 3-hit combo has a lock-on ability. So like when I said earlier, the 3-hit combo will do something different at the end of it. This time it will do only one thing, and at the end of the 3-hit combo, he will throw his billy clubs at a nearby enemy, causing 80 damage, and this is always a hit. He won't throw the billy clubs and miss. If there's an opponent near him, he'll throw them at them, like he'll just lock in and like throw it at their head and get 80 damage. If not, he'll just throw it at the opponent that's like closest to him, in front of him. If there's only one opponent, he'll throw it at that opponent. So let me know what you think about this ultimate. I think this is a really fun, cool ultimate. I'm not too sure of the length. Probably as just like a standard average ultimate length, but yeah, I've really enjoyed making this concept. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching the video. If you have any comments or any thoughts of Daredevil and what you'd want, or when you think you will see him in the game, then please comment down below. But yeah, I've been Az, you guys have been awesome. Please hit that subscribe button, please help us get to 1400 subscribers, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.